Hi, I'm Abidemi Sanusi, and I write Christian books as Live I Read. And I just want to welcome you and thank you for popping over and checking out my YouTube channel. And the first thing I'd like you to do, if you haven't subscribed yet, is to hit the subscribe button. And I would so appreciate it because I'm going to be coming up with lots and lots of content and new things every week to help you with your journey as a Christian writer. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the call to write. I know a lot of people, that's one of the first things that they talk to me about. They feel that God has called them to write a book, and the book might be a testimony about their lives and how God has helped them. And sometimes it might just, it may just be a Christian novel. And at this point, I'd like to say I make a distinction between um, a Christian fiction writer, a novelist, or a Christian writer, or and a Christian who writes. I see myself as a Christian who writes, okay? And that's because I write books for the Christian and non-Christian market. So this channel is for people who are specifically writing for the Christian market. So again, I just want to make that clear. So anyway, back to what I was going to talk about, the call to write. So, if you've ever felt the call to write, maybe you feel that God wanted to write a book about your experiences, how it's brought you through something, you want to share your testimony or record your family history, or maybe you have an idea for a novel, whatever the book is, whatever, it doesn't really matter what the book is or what you think God has called you to write about. The fact of the matter is you have sensed, you have felt the call to write, and you don't know what to do or how to go about it. And maybe you've had this call for a while. I've spoken to people that felt the call to write a book for years, in some cases like 20 years or so. And for some people, it may just be like a little nugget. God is calling you to write something, but you're not quite sure what it is. So maybe you even have a passion for writing. It might be poetry, it might be plays. It doesn't really matter what it is, but you just feel this call to write as part of your ministry, or maybe it may not be part of your history ministry. It may be even something that you feel the Lord, a field that God is calling you into. And what I would like to say is the best way to basically ensure the success of this call to write that God has called you to is that this is going to shock a lot of people. It's for you to do less, okay? And that's the only way you're going to achieve more. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people, they get overwhelmed. They read all kinds of books. They go onto Google. They go onto YouTube. They go onto Twitter. They sign up for all kinds of social media platforms because they want to learn how to write. They want to learn how to do things, and then they get overwhelmed and nothing happens. And that's why I said you need to be able to do less so you can achieve more. And basically what that means is you need to know how to take imperfect action, because imperfect action is better than taking no action. Imperfect action means getting started and just writing what you need to write without worrying about whether it's gonna without worrying about whether it's going to without just worrying, essentially. So imperfect action is basically saying, I've been called to write, so I'm going to write this, I'm going to write my poem, I'm going to write my play, I'm going to do all these kind of different things, and knowing that I can always go back. I'm going to give the example of a book. If you want to write a book, for instance, so many people get fixated on, oh, every single sentence has to be perfect the first time round, which is absolute madness. It just, do you know what I mean? Nobody gets things right the first time round. I've written 11 books, okay? And I can tell you right here and now that each book probably goes through at least 7 to 8 rounds of editing before you guys actually see it. And when I'm writing the book, so to speak, it's not perfect. I don't nail down the sentence, every single sentence that I write. In actually my process for writing a book, believe it or not, what I tend to do is, and that's what most writers do, is I just basically just just spread it out. I just write and I keep on writing until I get to the end, because I know the manuscript is going to be edited. So that's what I mean by taking improper action. You don't fixate, don't overthink it. You get it right. Just basically get down in there. If you think you've been called to write poems, start writing and don't worry about getting it right the first time and all the rest of it, especially if you're new to the writing and publishing industry. It is madness to think you're going to excel at something that you have no knowledge of, and to think God is going to call you to do this and God expects you to be perfect at it the first time round. So that's all I have to say, okay? That's all I have to say. If you found this useful, I would love to basically read your comments. So make sure you drop a comment, and if there's anything else I think you'd like me to tackle in this field, if you're a Christian youth, you're thinking about writing a book, I really would love to hear your ideas, and in terms of what you would like me to cover in the next video. Thank you.